Hello, everyone. We are going to start with another lecture of performance management. And in this lecture, we are going to deal with the question of target costing, right? This is the second question of target costing which we are doing. And if you know what is life cycle of the product, you may continue with this. And if you have no clue what is the life cycle of the product, then you may do this question after the first lecture of life cycle of the product, but still I believe you can manage, right? So let's start with this requirement. Let's see what is the requirement of this question. The question says recalculate the estimated lifetime cost per unit for the webcam after taking into account from point number 1 to 3 above, that is for 12 marks, right? For 12 marks you have to recalculate cost required for the manufacturing of the product of a webcam for the entire life of the product, right? So let's start with this question. Let's see what is given here. Cam company manufactures webcam. You may pause this video and try to read this question at your own in order to understand it better, or you may continue with this. Cam company manufacture webcam devices which can provide live video and audio streams via personal computers. It has recently been suffering from liquidity problem. Now, what is liquidity problem? I hope you guys know. Liquidity problem is mainly the cash flow problem. Company is having cash flow issues. It's suffering some issues regarding the payment and receiving of cash from customers and suppliers. So that's basically the issue, and hopes that these will be eased by the launch of its new webcam, which has revolutionary audio, sound, and visual quality. So, what company is thinking? Company is facing a liquidity problem right now. So, company is thinking, management is thinking that let's launch this new product, and by using this product, launch of this product, we can get out of this problem, right? Try to think, you may pause this video and try to think whether it's necessary. I mean, do you really think that company can get out of this problem by launching a single product or not? um it depends upon the success. If your product gets successful, only then you can get out of this problem. If your product is a flop, then definitely you will get more into you will get into a deep trouble, because in that case you have to still bear the fixed cost, but you will be generating less revenue because of that, right? So this is basically what their planning is. The webcam is expected to have a product life cycle of 2 years. So this product is expected to last for 2 years. Market research has been carried out to establish a targeted selling price and projected lifetime sales volume for the product. Cost estimates have been prepared based on the current proposed product specifications. What is right now we have prepared specifications, specifications regarding that. Cam company uses life cycle costing to work out the targeted cost of its product, believing it to be more accurate to use an average. Sorry, believing it to be more accurate to use an average cost across whole life of the product, rather than potentially different cost at different years. Now, this is something which we will discuss in life cycle costing, because at different phases of the life of the product we tend to charge different prices from the customer. When we launch the product, we charge different prices. When our product start growing in the market, we charge different prices. When our product is at a peak season, is at peak of its sales volume, we charge different price, we may charge different price, and whenever it start declining, we may charge different prices. So sometimes we charge different prices at different life of the product. But this question is saying that they believe that it will be it to be more accurate to use an average cost across the life cycle of the product, rather than potentially different cost for different years. You are provided with the following relevant information for the webcam. Now, what is given here? Projected lifetime sales volume is 50,000. Lifetime sales volume means what? For the whole life, company can sell 50,000 units. It's not mentioned whether they can sell it in the first year or second year, or how many units they will sell in first year, how many units they will sell in second year, but overall sales volume will be 50,000. Targeted selling price is 200, targeted profit margin is 70, targeted cost per unit is 130, and the estimated lifetime cost per unit is 160. Now, here is the problem. What the targeted cost says that we should manufacture our product at 130, and expected cost is saying that no, we will manufacture the same product at 160. That means what? Our expected cost is $30 more as compared with the targeted cost. And this $30 difference is something which company, which can be some I mean that it's something which company need to consider, which company needs to think about. Now, is note estimated lifetime cost per unit. Now, what is the estimated lifetime cost per unit? It's basically breakup of this $160, right? They said direct material cost is 40, direct labor cost is 26, machine cost is 21, quality control cost is 10, reworking cost is 3, non-manufacturing cost is given here. So ultimately total cost is 160, right? Now, the average market price, this is an important point. The average market price for webcam is currently 150. So overall, the average webcam price is 150, and our expected cost is 160. Although we have a revolutionary product, but still we need to do something about it. So what we are expecting that we will charge around $200 because of this revolutionary product. Although the average cost is around $150, average selling price is around $150. Now, the company needs to close this gap of $30 between the targeted cost and estimated lifetime cost. The following information has been identified as relevant. Now, let's read the first part. It's important. Direct material cost. Direct material cost is this one, right? Direct material cost. All of the parts currently proposed for the webcam are bespoke parts. Bespoke parts means what? Bespoke means anything which you ask someone to prepare on order. For example, if I'm saying that we have a bespoke software or bespoke part, that means we will ask the supplier to manufacture according to our requirement, right? It's a kind of tailor-made thing, right? However, most of these can actually be replaced. Most of these can actually be replaced with standard parts costing 55% less. So although we are purchasing some bespoke, some tailor-made parts, but still we believe that we can buy mostly parts at 55% less cost, right? 55% is a huge amount. However, three of the bespoke parts, which currently account for 20% of the estimate direct material cost, cannot be replaced. Although an alternate supplier charging 10% less has been sourced for these parts. Now, you may pause this video and try to read it again and try to identify what is the issue. See, it's very simple, right? Company is currently buying mostly bespoke parts, right? Tailor-made part. So what they are saying that after reconsidering this step, they are saying that look, there are chances there is a possibility that company can buy mostly part at mostly part company can replace mostly be tailor-made parts by some standard parts, right? And that is going to cost company 55% less cost as compared with the tailored made thing, right? The second thing is that they are saying that three bespoke parts cannot be replaced. So those three parts company will buy on tailor based requirement, but company found out some other supplier who is ready to supply 10% the same parts, same bespoke part at 10% less cost, right? So this is basically, there are two savings. First saving is 55% on standard cost when replaced, and the second saving is 10% saving in the bespoke parts, right? The second one is direct labor cost. Direct labor cost is this one. Sorry. Direct labor cost is this one. Now, direct labor cost, the webcam uses 45 minutes. The webcam uses 45 minutes of direct labor, which costs 34.67 per hour. The use of more standard parts, however, will mean that while the first unit would still take 45 minutes, there will now be expected to there will now be an expected rate of learning of 90%, where b is minus 0.152. B is usually given in all questions. This will end after first 100 years, 100 units have been completed. This means what? After completion of first 100 units, learning will stop, right? And the next remaining units will consume exactly the same time as of 100 units. So this is learning curve application basically. I told you guys that learning curve is something which can be applicable, which is applicable in so many topics, in various topics. Learning curve, target costing, variances, pricing, performance measurement. There are so many topics where you can find learning curve, right? So it's very important. Now the third one is reworking cost. Reworking cost is this part. Reworking cost is this part. Third one. Reworking cost, this is an average rework cost per webcam. The question is talking about this $3. This $3 is an average rework cost per webcam and is based on estimate of 15% of webcams requiring rework at cost of 20 per rework. Within the use of more standard parts, the rework will fall to 10% at a cost of $18 each, right? So we are just trying to change the bespoke part from we are just trying to replace bespoke parts from standard parts, and that's going to reduce the material cost, that's going to reduce labor cost, and that's going to reduce reworking cost. This is basically what our expectations are. Now, first requirement is to recalculate the estimated lifetime cost per unit of the webcam after considering point number 1, 2, 3 above, right? Point 1, 2, and 3. Let's start with the first point. Let's see what we can do. Again, you may pause this video and try to calculate what will be the revised cost of material, labor, and reworking cost at your own. Try to do it for, you can try it for 5 to 10 minutes to do something about this question, and then you can resume this video. Now, see, the first one is direct material, right? Currently, direct material cost is around $26 per unit, right? $26 is the current material cost. Now, what the question is saying? Question is saying that mostly parts can be replaced with the standard costing. However, 3 of the bespoke parts, which cost 20% of the estimated direct material cost, cannot be replaced. That means what? That means we cannot replace 20% part. So in other wordings, what examiner is telling you that look, we can replace 80% parts, right? So direct material cost is 26, I guess. Yeah. Direct material cost is $26. Let's try to calculate its 20% and its 80%. Right? So 26 times 20% is 5.2. And the 26 times 80% is 20.8. Right? So this is basically, 20% will get 10% saving and 80% will get 55% saving. Right? So revised cost of material will be what? revised cost of material will be its 90%. 90% will be 5.2 times 90% is 4.68, right? And 20.8 we can save. However, most of these can actually be replaced with the standard pass costing 55% less, right? 55% less means that we are left with 45% cost, right? So we will take its 45%, or you can reduce 55%. So 20.8, sorry, 20.8 times 0.45, that makes 9.36. Only $9.36 cost will be left. So material cost will be what? 4.68 plus 9.36, that makes 14.04, right? This is the new material cost. So from $26, we can reduce it to 14.04. That means what? That means just by replacement we can save $11.96 cost, right? This is the saving. Although this is not required, but I'm just telling you. All right, the next one, this is the first part, right? This is basically the solution of this part. Now the next one is labor. They are saying that direct labor cost, the webcam uses 45 minutes of direct labor, which costs 34.67 per hour. So this is the wage rate, and these are the number of hours, right? Now these are the hours. The use of more standard, however, will mean that the first unit will still be expected to take 45 minutes. There is expected to be 90% learning curve, 90% learning rate, which is applicable on first 100 units only. Now again, you may pause this video and try to calculate this labor cost at your own if you can. Now see, let's try to make a layout, overall working pattern, how we are going to do this. See, what we have to do, we have to calculate total labor cost of 50,000 units, considering the fact that there is expected to be learning curve for the first 100 units, right? So how can we do this? See, learning is going to apply for first 100 unit, right? So the first step is to calculate time required for 1 to 100 units, right? Because learning is going to stop, and this is basically, we will calculate this time by using the learning curve formula, right? The second step is what? In the second step, we will calculate time required for 100th unit. Why? Because the remaining, how many units? 50,000 units are here now. So remaining 49,900 units will require exactly the same time which is required for the manufacturing of 100th unit, right? So then we will calculate required time required for the remaining 49,900 units by multiplying it with the time of 100th unit, right? So now let's start with this. Let's start with the first step. First step is what? To calculate time required for the first 100 units. Now the formula is y is equals to ax raised to the power b, and a is time required for the first unit, which is around 45 minutes. You can consider 45 minutes, you can convert it into number of hours as well. You can calculate labor cost as well. It's completely up to you. Whatever you want to do, you may. I'm considering 45 minutes, right? Because 45 minutes is easier to calculate as compared with the number of hours. So 45 minutes raised to the into 100 units raised to the power, yeah, this one, minus 0.152, minus 0.152, right? So this will be what? This will be 100 raised to the power 0.152 minus, and then multiply it with 45. 22.34. It's 22.34 minutes per unit. Now what you have to do, you have to multiply, you have to calculate total time. This is the average time, no? For the calculation of total time, let's multiply this with 100, right? So let's multiply same time with 100, but these are number of minutes. You have to divide it with 60 in order to get number of hours. 37.244. It's 37.244, right? So this is time required for 1 to 100 units. Now what's next? Time required for 100th unit. How you will calculate time required for 100th unit? 100th unit time can be calculated by taking difference between time required for 100 units and time required for 99 units. So now the next step is to calculate total time required for 99 units. This was for 100 units, right? We will keep the same formula. Y is equals to ax raised to the power b, where y is equals to 45 into 99 raised to the power minus 0.152. So y will be equals to what? 99 raised to the power 0.152 minus, and then multiply it with 45. It's 22.38. Not hours, minutes. This is from 1 to 99, average time, right? So what will be the total time then? Total time will be this same figure multiplied by 99 and divided with 60 in order to convert it into hours. 36.928. Don't round it off because the figures are very small. I mean, the figures are very narrow, so you will find 0 if you try to round it off. Now, what is the time required for 100th unit? 100th unit time will be 37.244 minus 36.928. That makes 37.244, 0.315, 0.315 hours per unit for 100th unit, right? So we have calculated time required for first 100 unit, we calculated time required for 100th unit. Now what's next? Now we have to calculate time required for 49,900 units, right? So time required for remaining output, this is the third step. Time required for remaining output, and that's going to be 49,900, because 50,000 minus 100 is 49,900, multiply by 0.315. 15751. 15751. Is this the total time? No, this is time required for 49,900. We still have to add time required for first 100 unit, which is 37.244. So this is time required for this is time required for 49,900 units, and time required for first 100 units was what? it was 37.244. So 15,788. This is total time required for 50,000 units, right? But obviously we don't need total time, we need time required for 1 unit, right? So let's try to calculate the average time. Average time per unit in this case will be 15788 hours divided by 50,000 units, right? So this will be 15788, 0.316, right? And then multiply, these are the hours now. Now for the labor cost, we have to multiply 0.316 with the wage rate. Now what is the wage rate? Wage rate is 34.67, right? So we have to multiply it with 34.67. So 0.316 multiplied by 34.67, that makes 10.955, 10.96, right? So the labor cost will be, direct labor cost will be 10.96, and for this you have to go for working number 1, right? This is working number 1. This is working number 1, right? Now, what was the initial labor cost? Initial labor cost was around 26. I think we did something wrong here. Oops, material cost is 40. Anyways, there's no issue. We can compare it with 26. We just need to make some changes, a few changes. Material cost is 40. So 40 times 2 is 20% is 8. 40 times 80% is 32. 8 times 90%, 8 nines are 8 into 9 is 7.2. And 32 into 0.45 is 14.4. Right? So, sorry. Plus 7.2, that makes 21.6. Compared with 40. So the saving is 18.4. Sorry, I picked the wrong number. Labor cost was 26. Now labor cost is 10.96. Average labor cost is 10.96. So 10.96 compared with, okay, so let's write it here. 10.96 compared with 26. So there's a huge saving in labor cost, and this is going to be 10.96 minus 26. It's around 15.04. right? All right. Now the next part is reworking cost, right? Reworking cost is all right. Reworking cost is point number 3, right? It says this is the average rework cost per webcam and is based on an estimate of 15% of webcams requiring work on at cost of $20 per rework. Now, this is basically what they are basically. This question is actually right now talking about this $3. Now, let me tell you. Now, let me try to calculate it. How? Let me try to illustrate how they have calculated this. Right? How many webcam they have? They are expecting 50,000 webcam in total. Right? And out of that, they are expecting that 15% of webcam will require rework. In this case, they are expecting 15% webcam will require rework. So that makes 7,500 overall webcams they are expecting will require rework at a cost of 20. That makes $150,000 cost for the whole life of the product. And how many units they have? They have 50,000 units. So that's how they have calculated this $3. Now let's recalculate it because we have to recalculate this part. Now with the use of more standard part, the rate of rework will fall to 10% and each will cost $18, right? So this means that 50,000 times 10% reworking will be required, multiplied by $18, that makes around 90,000. So 50,000 multiply by 10% and then multiply by 18. This means around what? 90,000. And 90,000 is the cost for 50,000 units. So if you average out by dividing it with 50,000 units, you will get 1.8. 1.8 compared with 3, so it's around saving of $1.2. So what is the overall saving? Overall saving is 18.4 plus 15.04 plus 1.2. That makes 34.64. Now, without calculating the standard cost per unit, we know that we have achieved the targeted cost. Why? Because we have to reduce $30 cost if we want to meet the target, right? And if we move from bespoke parts to standardized part, we can save $34.64, which is $4.64 more than the expectations, right? This is not the end of this part. The examiner wants you to recalculate the estimated life cost per unit for the webcam. So you just need to replace this 40, 26 and 3. 40 with 21.6, this 26 with 10.96, and 3 with 1.2, and just add all these figures. You can recalculate it, right? So that's the end of the first part. What's the second part? Second part says that explain the market skimming. Sorry. Explain the market skimming, also known as price skimming, pricing strategy, and discuss, as far as the information allows, whether this strategy may be more appropriate for cam company than charging one price throughout the webcam entire life, right? First of all, let me tell you what is the concept of market skimming pricing. Skimming pricing means that we will charge. There are two type of pricing strategy. The first strategy is called skimming pricing policy. Skimming pricing policy. Now, in a skimming pricing policy, we charge high prices at the start of the at the start of the life of the product, and then we slowly reduce our selling price as product gets older, right? Which is usually the case in technological product. I mean, this is something which is very common in mobile markets. In mobile, I mean, if Samsung launch new Note 11, suppose, then definitely they will charge highest price, maximum price for the product. And by the time their product get older and new product is expected in the market, or some new products is new product will come in the market, will be introduced in the market, they will reduce their selling price so that to be in the market. There is another pricing policy which is reversal of this, which is called penetrating pricing policy. Penetrating pricing policy means what? Penetrating, this is something which which we will discuss in pricing concept as well, life cycle cost M2. But now since we are doing a question, so I'm just explaining this part. Penetrating pricing policy means that we will charge lower prices at the starting of the life of the product, and then we slowly and gradually increase our selling prices. This is basically the case whenever company wants to penetrate in the market. For example, in Pakistan, what Kareem did, Kareem started in back in I think 2013, 2014, not 14, 15, 16, I guess. And they started with very low fare, very low taxi fare. So people start uh, using Kareem, because initially in Pakistan it was not a good idea. I mean, people were reluctant to call a cab via an application, right? So they, so few people started using it, and then slowly and gradually it became the market leader. I mean, the normal we cannot see any other market, sorry, any other taxi in Pakistan except for Kareem. And then Uber came in Pakistan, and then there are few other cab services, but Kareem is at the top. So initially they charge very low prices, and then slowly and gradually they increase their selling prices, they increase their fair prices, because they know that now they got a good market share, and now they can charge whatever they want to charge, because now people are habitual of Kareem, right? So this kind of policy is called penetrating, because we don't know what's going to be the reaction. So once let get customer used to of our product, and then we can launch it. Same thing actually did by Netflix. What Netflix did in Pakistan is that, I don't know about the other countries, but in Pakistan what they did, they or this is basically their strategy, not exactly in Pakistan, I'm sure. So what they did is they usually give you a free trial of 1 month, right? Whenever you, I don't know about the current scheme, but when I registered myself, so at that particular point of time, they start giving 1 month free access to customers. Same thing is done by Amazon Prime. And once the customer get used to of your app, used to of your channel, then you start charging from them. So this is basically done by so many companies, because they want to build a good customer base. So this is basically penetrating pricing policy. Now what the question is asking, explain the market skimming pricing. This is for 8 marks, right? Explain the term market skimming and pricing strategy, and discuss. Now this is the first part of the question, this is the second part of the question, and discuss, as far as the information allows, whether this strategy may be more appropriate for the cam company than charging one price throughout the webcam life. So the first thing you have to, I mean, there are 8 marks available, so I personally believe is that 2 mark is for the explanation of what the concept is, and 6 marks are available for the application for this discussion. And if 6 marks are available for the discussion, you have to discuss 3 major points, whether in favor or in against of this particular uh, policy. Now, you again, I'm asking you guys to you may pause this video for a while and try to think whether it's beneficial for the company or not. What we are trying to do, we are trying to have skimming pricing policy. That means we will charge high prices at the start of the year, and then we will reduce our selling prices as the time passes, with the passage of time. Now, for this I'm giving you just a hint. Try to read this paragraph and try to identify whether company should do this or not. Now, see, it's simple. The company, let me try to highlight few points. The company is following, the company is having liquidity problems. Liquidity problem means company is having cash flow problems. So, okay, fine. Let's not start with liquidity problem. Let's start with the product related thing. This product is something that is going to create revolutionary audio, sound, and visual qualities, right? This means what? This means that this is a new technology in the market. So whenever company charges any new technology in the market, it's basically the best time for the company to charge high prices. And you can refer to any mobile phones in the market, because whenever Samsung come with a new product, whenever Nokia is not a big name now. Whenever iPhone come with a new product, they used to charge heavy prices from the customer, because they know that customer is very excited right now. Company customer want this product. After 5 months or 6 months or probably a year, customer will not be interested in our product, because at that time the customers will be expecting some new product from our company or the other company, right? So the first reason which actually in favor of this scamming pricing policy is that company is launching a product which is unique in its quality, and it's a technological product. So in technological products, usually we charge skimming pricing, because initially there is a craze of the product, right? Initially we did the marketing, customers are excited about the product, so that's why we should charge high prices at the starting of the year and then reduce selling prices as the time passes. Second reason which is very important here is that, see, there is always a threat of new entrants. So if we introduce a new product if we are introducing a new product in the market and no one else is offering the similar product, then we have the chance to earn maximum money. But when competitor will start manufacturing a similar product, because people used to copy, not exactly copy, people used to earn revenue as the other people are earning. So if someone launches a new thing, the competitor used to launch a similar thing sooner, because they also want to earn similar profit because of market pressure. So what we can do is that initially we will earn maximum money, and when our customer competitor will launch the product, we will reduce that selling price. So again, that is in favor of skimming pricing policy. The third thing which is very important here is that company is having a liquidity problem, right? So if you are having a liquidity problem, then that means what? That means that company is having huge expectation from this product. Company actually wants to earn from this product. So if you charge high prices at this initial phase, then it will help the company to come out of that liquidity problem, right? So initially company can charge higher prices, right? So these are three reasons which are in favor of charging high prices at the start of the product life cycle. Now, one thing which is really very important to consider is that company is trying to, I mean, we need to see the other part of the picture as well. Company is trying to replace bespoke parts with the standard part, right? So we must check what effect it will bring to the product, to the quality of the product. Because if this revolutionary impact or revolutionary quality get compromised by the introduction of standard parts, then it will not be a good idea to charge $50 more from the customer, because in that case your product will be resulting in the similar kind of facility which the other people are offering, right? So we must make sure that after replacing those parts, our quality of the product is intact. That's very important, right? So the first point which is in favor of charging the skimming pricing, I mean skimming pricing policy is a good idea for this company. Why this is a good idea? The first point is that it's a technological product. It's a technological product, and initially, and this means that customers are excited at the starting at the launch phase of the product, but after some time has been passed, after 1 month, sorry, not one, after 6 months or probably a year, customer will not be that excited, so company will not be in a position to charge high prices after 1 year, right? The second point which is in favor is that when competitor will launch similar product in future, company can reduce selling price to keep customers locked with the company, right? And the third thing is what? Third point is company is facing liquidity problem, right? So if company goes for skimming pricing policy, then this means high selling price is charged at the starting of the year, and that will help company to get out of liquidity problem. Or if you don't want to use the word get out of the problem, you may write that it will help company to relax the liquidity issue which company is facing right now. Okay, so these are 3 points which are important. You may write any other point if you wish. If you want to write this bespoke PowerPoint, you may write that point as well. So that will, I mean, that will give you a fair chance to earn 8 marks, overall 8 marks from this product, right? From this question, right? So that's the end of this question. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.